So this guide's going to assume that you already know the basics about Pantheon and stuff like that. Alright, so going over Pantheon's runes, you want to get Airy. This works great with your Q because you're going to be spamming it and the Airy's going to fly at them and like slap them in the face a little bit and they're going to take extra damage. The Comet's okay, but the problem with the Comet is that it has a long cooldown early on, so it's not going to actually do as much damage as Airy. Ultimate Hat, this is great because Pantheon is all about that ultimate. You've got to make the ultimate plays. You can get mana flow bad if you're bad with mana, but your mana should be okay with Corrupting Potion. Just make sure you save your mana for poking. Try not to farm with any abilities. Alright, Absolute Focus, extra damage. These don't give extra damage, so what the fuck are you doing? Don't choose these. Then we got more damage. Scorch, pretty good. Water Walking, why the fuck are you in River? That's pointless. You should be ulting from your lane to bot. This is for scaling. We are not scaling. We want to slay early. Triumph is great for 1v2s, so you kill someone, you gain health back. OP as fuck, 12%. What the hell, Bridie? What are you doing? Balance your game, please. Does anyone ever take these? Don't think so. Okay, the Coup de Grace. Now this works great with your E because when they're below 15% health, it'll be deal 18% more damage because it doubles. This is just required. Big damage. It's all about that damage. Take the damage. Alright, so as Pantheon, you're going to want to start Corrupting Potion all the time. Don't go Longsword, because if you go Longsword, you're going to run out of mana so fast. And Warding Totem. That's pretty obvious. You're going to want to ward very early because Pantheon has no escapes, and in high rating, enemy jungler is going to camp you because they know Pantheon is very susceptible to ganks. So on your first back, you're going to want to get boots and 2 longswords or a warhammer. Some people like to go Dirk. The only time Dirk is good, in my opinion, is when you're versing a squishy top lane that isn't going to build armor. If your top lane is going to build armor, I would probably just go warhammer first because you get the increased cooldown reduction to spam your Q even more. But Dirk is okay against squishy top lanes. Ghostblade, this item works well with your ultimate because when you land, most of the time they're going to be just out of range of your stun. So you use this for the extra movement speed after you land, catch up to them, and stun them. Black Cleaver has just always been good. I mean, it's like a tanky damage cooldown reduction item. Always got that second, third item, Dead Man's Plate. Guardian Angel, you always want to get this in the later game. You're going to be more of the initiator with your ultimate. So you go in, stun someone, maybe kill someone, get one shot, but then you die. But joke's on them because you're not actually dead because you have Guardian Angel. Final item, Mortal Reminder. Your boots are either going to be Merc Treads or Ninja Tabi, but if they have a lot of CC, Merc Treads. Dustblade, a lot of Pantheons like to build this, but I feel like building this item and this item, Ghostblade, makes you just way too squishy, and you've already spent so much gold and you don't have any health. I mean, it's good if you're snowballing to fuck, but in the high rating games I would just rather build Black Cleaver. And yeah, more in replacement of Dead Man's Plate. Sometimes you can build both this, Dead Man's Plate and more, and skip the Mortal Reminder if you're going for more of a tank build. I would only build both those items though if your team had no tank for that later game. Alright, so now onto the gameplay. You obviously want to get Ignite Flash. So when you're laning, you just want to be farming with auto attacks. Don't use your abilities to farm. That's the one big mistake I noticed a lot of Pantheons doing. Auto attacks at farm and then just constantly poke with your Q when you can. Now when you're laning early, you always want to drop your ward because you're going to be the aggressive one in lane, so you're going to be pushing most of the time and throwing out those Q pokes, so you're going to be pushed up. And Pantheon is very open to ganks because he has no escapes, so you're going to want to place them wards. So once you've poked enough, you should be able to realize how much damage you can do going all in with your execute E as well. With your level order, you want to be getting Q first, W second, then Q third. The reason why you don't go your E third is because your execute is not actually going to be very effective at this level because they have to be so low in order for it to crit, and by the time they're already that health, your Q can just kill them anyway before the crit. So you go Q, W, Q, and then E, and then you max like standard, and then E, and then W. So laning is quite simple. Just you want to be aggressive as fuck. Don't be a passive Pantheon. Pantheon has one of the best early games in the game, if not the best, especially when you're going Ignite. People will hate you for it. So once you get level 6, you can just start roaming. Whenever your ultimate is up, you want to be looking for where to ult. If you're laning against, say, a tank where it's very hard to kill them, you can just simply ditch the lane most of the time. Just keep roaming because you want to excel at that early game presence around the map. If you're just stuck top getting no kills farming, that's not what Panther's good for. So yeah, that was a pretty successful roam, but that's another thing. If you get them low and they start backing on the tower and you have a shit ton of health, you can just simply just ult on the tower. I mean, they're not going to expect you to ult the tower, even at challenge rating. So I think with Pantheon, a lot of it just comes down to decision making. So whenever your ultimate is up, you want to always be looking for them placed. Pantheon actually does have a pretty good escape past level 6 because you can just ult away from like anything in like 2 seconds. You gotta keep in mind though the CC they've used before you ult, so you kinda wanna wait till they use CC before you ult out, otherwise I can just stop your ult. And also, if you didn't know, Pantheon is actually immune to damage in his ult, so if you're ignited on 1 HP, you're not actually gonna take ignite damage. So overall, you wanna be focusing the squishies. Early to mid game, you wanna be looking for opportunities to roam with your ult. I think with your ult, it just takes experience knowing where to go and when. It's a bit hard to explain it in a guide like this because there's so many situations when you could just be diving somewhere or just going bot or mid, stuff like that. So I'm going to be live streaming most of my Pantheon games if you want more in-depth detail, and you can ask me any questions. Thanks for watching and enjoy the free rating.